everything, it needs to be about him, and I'm going to get my fortune told, and I'm going to come up with this plan to catch Robin Hood, and flattery just totally gets all of his logic. And I don't care what you're telling me. I'm being flattered, so these people must be good because they're telling me I'm a wonderful.
Right.
Yeah.
And yet he's still a baby because he sucks his thumb and calls for mommy.
Yeah.
And rubs his ear.
Yes.
I guess that's a thing.
Yeah, that's a thing.
So, but so you have these two sides of this. He's a big baby. But doesn't that play into the bully mentality, right? Because in reality, most bullies are bullies because they're actually scaredy cats.
Yes. And they're insecure.
They have to give that persona. Right. They have to give that persona because something about them they don't like.
Right.
So he's this big bully that everyone's stealing from them because, well, he's a little baby who cries for mommy all the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's interesting because in this scenario, like Prince John, he feels like he's living in the shadow of King Richard, right? And I found those two lions so reminiscent of Lion King, where you have Simba. Is that his name?
Yeah. No, Simba's the son.
Yeah.
You talking about Mufasa?
Yeah, Mufasa. And how in Lion King, like Mufasa is this gorgeous, well-built, fully, framed lion. And even the hyenas, and Mufasa, say it again. I love that part. And so there's this, this idea of who King Richard is. And then you have Little John, which if you look at would be Scar. And they're drawn scrawny lions. And it's that same scenario that we see in Lion King.
Yes, exactly. And his buddy's a snake.
Yep.
Similar to how hyenas are sneaky, right? Mm-hmm. Although there's a Star Trek reference because Whoopi Goldberg is one of the hyenas.
Yes, there is.
And she's actually a Disney legend now.
But yeah, it's interesting that Prince John, like he's feeling that he has to try and overcome what King Richard is. And sort of the same thing with Scar. He wants to be the best, ruler of the Pride Land and stuff like that. So
at any expense.
Yes.
In both scenarios.
Yep.
In both Lion King and this, they are worse off when Scar and or Prince John take over.
Yeah.
The people, the average people,
yep.
or whatever. They're not people, they're animals. Yet they are only worried about them being considered the ruler at the time. Yep. Whereas you get the feeling, because you don't see much of King Richard, you get the feeling that everything's much better when he's in charge.
Yep.
Much like it was when Mufasa and or when Simba takes back over.
Yeah, yeah. So I found that a great parallelism between those two movies and how they're both lions.
Yeah, I do, and they both rule over multiple different animals.
Yeah.
So this is a little different in that they're more anthropomorphized in this movie than they are in Lion King. They're more animals in Lion King, the way they walk.
Yes, yeah.
Whatever, but in this movie, they're more stand upright and they have an archery contest. So it's a little bit different, but I did find it interesting that you're right. They do make him so scrawny and he's just a little Weasley guy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, the crown doesn't even fit on his head. He has to pull his ears out, because otherwise it'd be a necklace on him.
Which is interesting. You know what I noticed this time watching it too? There's a bunch of editing mistakes.
Really?
Yeah, like when they were shooting. So early on in the movie, when they're running from, I guess it's the scene where they steal the gems and everything, right? Mm-hmm. They're running from the guards.
Yes.
Who, I forget what kind of animals
Rhinoceros.
they are. Are they rhinoceros in that scene?
Yeah.
They might be, yeah. There's a couple different types of guards. There's the rhinoceros, there's these tall, thin things.
The alligators.
And then there's the vultures. Yeah, and there's one other. And there's vultures, and there's something else. Well, whatever. They're being shot at with arrows, and one goes through Little John's shirt, and one goes through Peter Pan. Oh, my God. Robin Hood's hat. It's the same kind of hat. So, and then when Little John pulls it out, he has no more hole in his shirt.
Oh.
There's no hole.
Oh, whatever.
They made a bunch of little editing mistakes in the movie, but
then when they talk about it, after they escape, he has it back on his shirt.
I know.
Yeah.
It's very weird. They also showed, at one point, they showed King Prince John without the gem on the ring for like a split second. Because he got all his rings back later on when they're about to do the archery scene.
Yeah.
And they show him move his one hand, and there's clearly no gem on his right hand. And then it's there.
Yeah.
It's just little stupid things I notice watching movies.
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
Yeah, well, true. But apparently he has endless gems, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because he's now the king.
He probably stole them from all the little people.
Yeah. Well, he definitely stole the money from them.
Yep.
Because you have... So you find out as you watch this movie that the common folk actually idolize Robin Hood.
Well, yeah.
The little kid wants to be him, and he's good to them. You know, like he gives the kid the hat because they said, you don't look like Robin Hood, so he gives him the hat so he can look more like Robin Hood.
Yeah.
And that all comes about because on that kid's birthday, the Sheriff of Nottingham comes and steals his birthday present.
Yeah, his last farthing.
Yeah, which I guess is like equivalent to a penny at this point,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and what makes that so great is that Robin Hood, you actually see him returning the money to the common folk. He goes into the dog with his, he's got the cast on his leg, and and he's giving him money through the church, through Friar Tuck, and stupid Sheriff of Nottingham pounds it out of him every single last penny, but it's like we actually see the money getting back into the hands of the poor. And I wonder, and thinking about sort of the politics that we have now, like corporations and, how the government, and there's all these loopholes, and the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. Like, would that even be plausible? Do you think we could get a Robin Hood character or enough of them in our day and age where we would actually see the money being returned to us?
No.
Okay.
No, I think so. It's going to get way more political than I thought it would. I think we had them, and they were called unions, and they fought. But now the U.S. has 11% population working in unions, and the average person hates us.
Right.
They hate us for what we fought for. They think we don't deserve it, especially in jobs like yours where it's a state funded.
Yeah.
You don't deserve that. But so now I was sitting in my own house when someone looked over the table and goes, you should give up your pension because you don't deserve it. What do you mean I don't deserve it? Yep. A friend of mine said that to my face because he doesn't have one. So, but that's the mentality we have a lot of the time is instead of fighting for getting what I have, you'd rather bring me down to your level, which is why we can't win.
Mm-hmm.
We outnumber the rich in the millions.
Yep.
It'd be very easy to win this because if politicians realized we wouldn't vote for them unless they did that, then they wouldn't get elected. But we can't seem to do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it would be nice to have a strong Robin Hood nowadays.
It would be. And I'll give you, for instance, when you talk about corporate subsidies and whatnot, literally some of the money I pay in taxes to my school goes to Walmart. Walmart doesn't give my school any books or pencils or pens or anything like that to make up for this money. But Nassau County has considered the mall a tourist attraction because people from Queens go there.
What?
You can walk from Queens to get to the mall. Wow. That's not a tourist attraction.
No, it is not.
We're on a Disney podcast right now. I don't think Disney should be getting subsidies for being a tourist attraction. And it legitimately is one that brings people from all over the world.
Yes.
Walmart and Valley Stream is not a tourist attraction.
No.
But my school taxes go there.
Yeah.
And nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. I mean, these taxes, well, as we see, Prince John, he's doing it out of spite, and he's raising these taxes more and more, and, everyone ends up in the poorhouse. And I love that song that, sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, but not in Nottingham. Like,
there's more downs than ups.
There's more downs, yeah. it's so melancholy, and it brings the whole feeling that apparently this entire country is under, and we're just focused on this one little town, but that song is very haunting, and I love it.
I love the song. I love the scene. I love the way they drew the jail, and water's trickling in, because they don't even put money into their jail systems. They don't care about these people at all.
And
they're
in the little, with the neck and the arms in
the town square.
Yep, in the town square, because everyone's all imprisoned, and no one can make any money because all their money's going to taxes, and so then they're getting thrown in jail, and and even Hiss points it out. It's like, you can't get anything more. You can't get blood from a turnip. Like, you're done. And he's like, well, we need to catch Robin Hood and raise those taxes because they're harboring him,
Which, right, and it's actually detrimental to your own point, because you're now, by taxing them as high as you've taxed them and in jail and imprisoning them, you've given them no way to earn any more money to pay you any more taxes.
Yeah.
So if this movie had lasted a little bit longer before Robin Hood went and stole everything out of his bedroom, you would find out that the prince would have no money eventually.
Yeah.
Because he has nowhere to pull from.
Right. Yeah.
It's very... Okay. It's very weird that he doesn't understand that. I mean, you don't get to that point of the movie, but...
Well, that's because he's immature and egotistical, and he's this egomaniac, and he just wants more and more and more, and just make it happen because I said so and I'm the king.
That is very true.
Yeah.
Very, very true. It is a great scene with the money going out the window, one by one bags.
Yes.
And the last one's like under his arm, and he's trying to get it, but he gets caught on the bed. And
yeah, it is. It's so good. And how he, thinks he's going to get caught, and then he just sort of rolls over, Robin Hood, and then he goes back to sleep,
Well, which is... it's making more of the point. That's all that consumes him.
Yeah.
Is catching Robin Hood at that point. And we skipped over the major tournament that happened already.
Yes.
But, so, Robin Hood is also egotistical. Let's not act like he's not. A little bit egotistical. Because he's positive he can convince everyone he's not Robin Hood.
Mm-hmm.
And Win made Marion because they knew each other in grade school, apparently.
Yes.
And he loves her and she loves him, but neither one of them know that the other one loves them yet.
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
It's in so many movies, though.
Yeah. Especially those older ones.
Well, and plus, they're not from the same class. And back in that time of England, that would matter.
Mm-hmm.
She's rich and he's poor. And
yeah.
So he's an outlaw and she's the daughter of the king. So it's very, different. But I find it interesting that, like, he puts on this fake beak and all this, and it works.
Well, he has many disguises, which I think is, and they obviously work because he's the fortune teller, and then he's the blind man go walking through the town, and no one recognizes him, and then he's this crow at the tournament, but when he looks into Maid Marian's eyes, then they know, because they know each other's eyes.
Yes,
that's
but then
true
the snake
love.
figures it. But the snake figured it out early on.
Yeah.
But no one would listen to him. So he was in a barrel getting drunk.
Yes, he was.
Which is hilarious when he comes up drunk.
Well, and again with Little John, who is, flattering Prince John, and, now you're so nice, you're going to sit right next to me because you're my new best friend because you're flattering me and telling me all the good things that I do. And
you're a woman. Helped.
Yes.
Because he's a woman, so it's a woman flattering him on top of that.
Yeah, yeah.
But because even he draws the attention of the rhino guards when they're robbing him as the fortune tellers.
Yes.
And he steals all the hubcaps.
Yes, that is
which was
so
interesting. And he tries to run away, and he spills, and then him and Robin Hood run into each other, and they spill gold everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's when everyone realizes it.
And just puts it down the shirt. I mean, there's many times my little girls have held some things. So that I totally related to that.
Yeah, so I mean, the movie is so well done in that